This episode is brought to you by Border Brewing Company. Today, Nivens sits down with guitar tech and musician Josh Johnson. He started out as a guitar tech, but worked his way into playing on stage with legendary singer Justin Hayward of the Moody Blues. Now he tours the world. Thank you for your time, Mr. Josh Johnson.
Dude, I'm like, this is like another life. Like, I get a mentor who's like a rock legend. Holy fuck. He gave me this amp. This is a Moody Blues amp he toured with forever.
They give you that guitar.
He bought it for me. Meaning he told me to go find the best fucking acoustic I could find and didn't give me a price. That's like a dream. Like, it's like a Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movie or something, you know? Like, this guy's money to go spend on a guitar. Like, which one do you want, you know?
The Prince of Possum Trot, the Mayor of Gullytown, a Kansas City kid. Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuned in to Kansas City with Jason Nivens.
Starlight coming, fetch my lightning rod.
Okay, yeah. The thing that you'll find, I mentioned this, Parker knows I talk about this every time, we don't have like an actual start. It just starts, you know? So before we even began, we were talking about a remake of Cape Fear, Late Nights at the Riot Room and Hurricane. Maybe we start there.
Hey,
I think that's the genesis of all of this, of this bromance betwixt us.
Well, that's true, and that's when it was called the Hurricane.
Yeah,
so that puts it at a certain date.
It was like the very tail end of it being the Hurricane, because then all of a sudden there was bright lights and TVs everywhere, and I was like, that's not what this place is.
Yeah, because some guy from KCK that ran like clubs bought the place
wanted
for a
to
minute.
Make it a club.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Remember there's like TVs everywhere and it's like, wow.
Chad.
Yeah.
And he had like kind of busted grill.
Yeah. I think he's still around. Isn't he?
Hey man.
I don't know.
You know, I totally forgot about that era of that place, but you're right.
That was so because the thing that always, and I was telling Parker this on the way over, the thing that was always amazing about that is that you guys would go on after midnight. Good Night Nobody.
That was a band we called Good Night Nobody.
That would go on after midnight Thursday nights. That was like the Thursday.
It's a formula that just doesn't work, but you actually were the reason why it worked because you brought folks out.
Because I was working on air till midnight. And
right.
So midnight was my like 5 o'clock, the whistle blows, you know, Fred Flintstone, yabba dabba doo.
And that was kind of like when radio, especially local radio, really was a voice of the community.
Yeah.
I miss that a lot. I know I'm sure a lot of us do, but the local, the moment of when you're on the air talking to everyone, and then you say, "Here, I'm getting off work. I'm going here."
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of people that are like, "Well, that sounds like fun," and then they go right there.
Yeah.
Like that's what you did, and we were playing, and that was kind of like a band that was.
It's all covers, right?
Yeah, it was a cover band made up of other bands.
Yeah.
That were like, we just wanted to play together, and this was our little slot. We had this Thursday night gig.
Tyson Leslie, you.
And then Mole from 90 Minutes, Jason Molnar.
Oh, that's right, Molnar, yeah. And then Craig Hill. And and
then Dallas on drums.
Yeah.
And Dallas would end up being the owner of that fucking place.
Yeah, him and Timmy.
So that was why that band actually stopped, is because that place went for sale and they ended up taking over.
Right.
Had to kind of stop all that.
Yeah, man. I think about like that
time.
That was a good time. God, that would have been
2007.
Yeah, because I was
2008.
Because I was doing nights from
almost 20.
Well, but I did like weekends in 05. I went early 06 to nights, and I was there till like April of 09.
Okay.
And then that's when I got downsized and brought back for afternoon drive.
So it would have been in that. So it probably would have been 2007 or 8.
Oh my God, nearly 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. Like 20 years goes by so fast. Oh my God. Just like I look up and I just turned 49. I
was going to say I met you like right before your 30th birthday. Because I remember your 30th birthday.
Oh, wow.
You were out, one of those nights was like a 30th birthday night.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Good God, man. And so but you also aren't a Kansas City native. I mean, you've been here now for a long time.
20 years.
20 years.
But that was, I moved here, I've been here for 21 years now.
And where'd you come from?
So I'm from a small town in Illinois that's kind of close to the Quincy, Illinois, Hannibal, Missouri zone.
Okay.
Like, so the Quad Cities is here, Quincy's here, and Macomb, Illinois is like right in between.
Okay.
So it's that tri-state Missouri, Iowa, Illinois spot.
So how did you end up in Kansas City then versus
went to college,
St. Louis or Chicago or whatever?
I was in a band in college. And when we graduated, those guys were from here. And I wanted to keep that thing
Where'd
going.
you go to college?
Truman State University, Kirksville, Missouri.
Yeah.
Which was like a small-ish school, but it was still like Division II, It was a university. And it was just far enough away from home, but like not too...
If you need to get home and grab something.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours away.
Yeah, just enough.
And it was like, a small enough town to where my small country boy brain, it's like, I can make this work. It wasn't like moving to the big city.
Sure, right. Could what you tell us?
My graduating class was like 27 people.
That's wild.
It was small, man.
20. So
I think there were 7 girls in my senior class.
So is it 8-on-8 football? Is that what?
No, because we had to co-op. That's a Missouri thing. 8-on-8. We don't have that in Illinois.
Oh, okay, so you had partnered up with other schools.
There was another neighboring school, so we were like 2 different schools, but our football team was called had those 2 schools like hyphenated.
Yeah.
And that was actually great. I loved that.
Okay. Did you play sports at all?
Mm-hmm. Okay, football captain.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was a beefier boy in those days. It's like
because I'm on the farm.
Yeah, the neck was.
What was your position?
Linebacker.
Hell
I was a fullback and a linebacker.
Okay.
And then our team got good enough, even small school, we got enough people to where we actually were able to have like a full defense and a full offense.
So you were doing both sides the whole time.
I got pushed to like second string fullback.
Okay.
And then starting linebacker.
Yeah.
And then it was like, they never let me play any offense because if I was going to be, it was like, we don't want me to get hurt at that point.
Sure.
So, but I started varsity, and I called the huddle. I was the guy who called the defensive huddle both years.
I know. Oh, okay. Nice.
Junior and senior year varsity.
And then you also did music in high school too?
I was in a band. I was in bands.
Because
my senior year, I joined a band with some like adults.
Oh.
Guys that were
What got you into music?
I think that's a good question. I don't know.
You had a family member or something?
My brother was a radio DJ. So my brother was you would have hit it off with him quite well. He was a program director for small town radio, moved around America and helped kind of save a few radio stations.
Sure.
He got into the like gas pump advertising when that like wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
Now you're like, oh my God, those people are the devil. But he like discovered that as a market before people knew it was,
Yeah.
He was a person as far as like being excited about songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And always like knew about like this song, this artist, My dad was a good singer, a karaoke singer, and was like a little bit of like a star at the bars, karaoke machine.
Yeah.
There comes the sun.
I know, right?
I love that I have a studio set up where I actually have a window out to like an active neighborhood where like people walk their dogs and stuff by. Yeah. Because it's way less lonely that way, man. Like this same setup in a basement, like with no windows, it's like you'd be down there less. Because it's like hard to like go down into the dungeon,
Right. Yeah. How often? Because for those watching, we're in your home studio, literally a home studio.
Yeah.
How often are you in here? Like when you're home?
This is the first place I come when I wake up.
Really?
I'm in here at like 8 a.m.
What are you working on when you get in here?
Tons of different things.
Yeah.
A lot of times if I'm like learning a song for like a gig or something or like a thing I'm doing, or if I'm like mixing on things. So it's Wonderfuzz stuff and projects that we spin-offs that we do. I'm also doing some good amount of session guitar stuff this summer, which has been nice.
Yeah.
I have a few people that have sent me some songs and been like, it's kind of like someone drawing a picture and be like, okay, help me with this
Colored
picture.
in.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is my true, I think of all the musical things, that might be the thing I love to do the most.
So I would think that's an interesting.
But it's a weird
duality, like getting on stage, and we're going to talk about what you've been doing on stage, because it's pretty, for a kid from a town of 27 to get to traveling the world doing what you're doing.
Dude, it's definitely not, I got coffee over here.
Yeah.
It's not lost on me, man.
Yeah.
I'm super grateful to have like any story at all that's not like baling hay and roofing houses. Like if I would have stayed back home, those gigs paid pretty good.
Yeah.
But
honest work, but
dude.
It's a grind. It's a grind.
I did that stuff.
Yeah.
I did that stuff. And I like have so much respect for people who toughen their bodies up enough to like beat themselves up and go do that, you know?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, you're like, I don't want to do this again. And then you crash out and then you get up the next morning and you're back at it.
Yeah. It makes you a hard ass. You know? And some of those guys are hilarious because the sense of humor that you have to develop in life to go do that shit every day. Yeah. You end up having to be, that's where like some of the funniest people you'll ever meet are people that work these kind of jobs. Yeah. Because that's how they're dealing with the day to day. There's this, my wife and mother-in-law got this little farm. Wouldn't that be funny if that was the same person? Right. What state are we in? But they got this farm in Osage County, Kansas, outside of Ottawa. And then the town over, there's this little, dive bar, and I'll swing in there every now and again. And it is that salt of the earth kind of folks. And I just sometimes just kind of mind my own business, whatever game's on, I'm watching it, having a beer, but kind of just listen to some of the stories. And you just hear some of those. Everybody knows everyone. Yeah. There's always one guy got a crazy voice like this deep right now, and he got about 17 cigarettes in his mouth once because he just liked the goddamn smoke. And you're just like, I just want to get a recorder on that dude just one time, to be like, what's going on? I love people's voices too, man. Yeah. I'm always eavesdropping wherever I go. But to go from stage to session, you said you enjoy the session aspect. Because what, you don't got to get out there? No, it's a completely different thing. It's like the difference between theater acting and film acting. It's a completely different thing. I guess it really is. The microscope is not a thing live. Yeah. There's a lens on you. Sure. But the moment passes and then it's gone. So it's all about all the feelings left behind. Yeah. Yeah. So the live thing is actually way easier because of the energy of the room gives you fuel. Right. Like on tour, like there's people are sleeping not very much. Yeah. And then the crowd starts cheering and you're just like, all right, let's do this, baby. And all of a sudden you're back, Yeah. And so, there's the human interaction. The studio life is like this kind of like being a film director or something where you have to remind yourself that it's a good idea. Yeah. It's like over and over and over again so that you get something done. And you can defeat yourself at any point in the process and just stop. Right. That's the thing about it that's really different. Whereas live, it's like people are expecting you. Yeah. It's like a structured environment. There's set times, you got the stage announcement if there's one happening at this time. You got the opening, whatever the opening sound is going to be. Yeah. That's what I've noticed is the biggest difference between those two worlds is sort of the where the energy comes from. Yeah. Right. And you have to the threat of falling into an intellectual weird space where you're real cerebral happens in here. Yeah, dude. Sure. And like I've done it. I've spun myself out in this place, working really hard and like approaching what I think is greatness and then like getting in my head and then just like over cooking or how do you get over that? How do you I don't know if I ever get over it. It's you keep going and some of the things are failures and some of the things are more successful than others. And you don't know until a little later. Right. But I mean, like if you're in that moment where you're like crashing out because you think, oh, this is dog shit. I'm dog shit. What am I doing? I should just go outside. Yeah. Go outside. That's always the best. Yeah. The dogs, it's funny. Gus was here earlier. Yeah. He's a great like projector, emotional, like, cause he will like start acting a certain way and I'll be like, oh, I'm acting weird, and he is telling me, and I need to go outside. Yeah. And I'll take dogs on a walk, and then I'll come back, and I'll be totally fine. Yeah, kind of clear your head that way. And, it's living a little bit of life is always a good thing. Yeah. And structuring yourself around, like, man, I think the reason why I like doing this is because it's like the personal development that you get out of it. Yeah. It's like a weird form of like confronting your demons or something. Because it's still there. I know they're there, but they come out in the work, or like you come up against patterns of yourself, and you're like, oh shit, I'm still doing the same, and like it's like weirdly torturous. I don't know. It's a masochistic sort of thing, It's like abuse self, very very glutton for punishment, like. And doing the session work thing is like something I would love to do. But there are so many musicians who are way more like truly gifted than I am that want to do it and can't because it's really hard work to get into. But what it is, it's more about working with the client and figuring out what they want. Yeah. And it becomes almost like it can be like this mentory depending, maybe you're like, I think a lot of people who do session work are like older and the artist is young.
Yeah.
And the session person ends up being kind of a producer mentor.
Right.
In some ways. I've done a good amount of that kind of stuff with some of my students over the years that I feel like it goes from being guitar lessons into being like creative mentory thing. And so that's where it's turned in, like COVID, this was a great environment. Like I was able to help my students do things that, because I had this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we were like recording songs and doing remote, like sending files and things. And I actually,
Tom Morello did that with the
a couple of my students didn't go back to the other way. Once we came back, they stayed doing remote because I could be here and I could open up my studio and we could do work over the Zoom that way because they had their studio.
Yeah, yeah.
So some of these kids are into that.
When you talk about students, was it through a university?
I worked at this place called Music House down there in Kansas. Yeah. I worked there for like 7 years.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a cool experience, you know.
Yeah. So
Steve from Shooting Star worked there.
Yeah.
You ever met Steve Thomas? He's awesome.
But I do remember you telling about that.
Yeah.
That's right. You did that for 7 years.
That was great because, dude, I just had one of my like young, like these people that you become a major part of their life because it's a really interested student.
Yeah.
That you get to be their teacher. You land the lottery in those moments, you know?
Yeah.
And when this kid just graduated from Barstow, he's like a brilliant kid. I met him when he was 8. And now he's 18.
Wow.
Like this little guitar pick stand, he made that for me when he, in shop class or something.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a few things laying around he's like given me over the years. I've known him since he was 8. And he's been a big part of.
Yeah, like
I've been a big part of his life.
It's almost like big brother, big sister sort of thing in a way.
Yeah.
Musical big brother, big sister.
Yeah, and I feel like those kind of relationships, I'm super grateful that I've gotten to have because I always come out being like, oh man, like there's like hope for the future kind of thing. A lot of like old rockers get in this like zone where they think all the creative spirit is like died or something. It's just such a false thing.
Excuse me. When we first got here, you know, you and I were catching up and you were talking about, and that's sort of that same vein, how now that you've been out on the road and traveled the world, you realize like, oh man, it is.
There's a lot of people out there.
There's a lot of
you know, but you don't.
Yeah. You see it on paper, 8 billion people or whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
your brain just can't.
Yeah,
it's like you can't fit it in there. But I think when you go to enough places and people just truly don't even see you, like you not even register, you start to really realize how many different kinds of lives there are out there. It's such a humbling thing.
So to get to that level of travel and experience, you've been out for how long now with Justin?
The Justin Hayward gig started 3 years ago
and
for me.
For those that don't know, Justin Hayward is
singer of the Moody Blues. Yeah.
Mr. Moody Blues, basically.
Yeah. Which, if you don't know who that is, it's a band that came out in the 60s, the same era as like Pink Floyd and the Beatles, Led Zeppelin.
And the most notable song is
Nights in White Satin.
Nights in White Satin,
Which this guy wrote when he was like 19.
That's just wild. You hear that.
Justin's, and you hear, there's some people that just kind of are born with it.
Yeah.
He is kind of one of those. Like, he probably the first time he ever sang, like when he was a kid, someone was like, what the?
Yeah. Who's
like,
this?
Yeah. He just has these ears.
Yeah.
It's just like his ear for tune.
Yeah.
In a toneful sound and like an in tune pitch is just like dialed in.
Yeah.
Like Brian Wilson kind of thing.
Sure.
Know? And so you're like, oh, it's I heard a guy, Tom Bukovac, is like one of my he's like my YouTube guitar mentor. I don't know the guy.
Okay.
But he's like this Nashville session guitarist. He's on like all these records.
Okay.
And he's like a top recorded guitarist, But he's like, I'll work with you if you're one of two things. He goes, if you're nice or a genius. It's really great if you're both. But if he's like, but if you're a genius and you're not nice, at least I'll learn something.
Right.
I actually get that. Justin is nice.
Yeah.
But sometimes he's a genius and not nice. And you're like, you realize there's a lot of things I don't know.
Yeah. So how did you land that gig?
Through a recommendation from a kid I taught guitar lessons to when he was a kid.
Wow.
When he was a little kid, another one of those people. So that grew up, went out into the world, made some friends, and one of those friends is Steve, the guy who's the sound guy and books the touring staffs the crew.
Yeah.
And Steve is an English guy, but he lives around here, and
So
now I work with Steve all the time. We're really good friends, and it's been 3 years later,
Let's go back to that moment when did you get a call from Justin himself, or was it like, hello, this is Justin's assistant?
I get a text from Logan, hey, you want to send this guy your resume because he's looking for a dude. Would you be interested? Yeah, sure. So I whip up a rock and roll resume, which, no one really has until a moment like this.
Yeah.
And then
have your resume ready.
You're like, okay.
Yeah.
And I went to college and stuff, so I have a few skills in that regard. Be able to make it look nice.
Yeah. Put my address in the corner, my date of birth, email.
I put a picture of myself with like some tools around nearby to make it look like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
And the interview, it's like there was an interview with Steve, and then there was an interview with Justin was the second interview, and then I ended up getting the gig after that. So it took about a month for them to they drugged me through this thing for like a month and a half before I realized I knew I got the gig. And honestly, don't think I realized how cool of a gig it was. I knew it was going to be a cool gig, but I didn't realize quite how intense and how cool it was going to be.
Yeah.
Until it really started happening,
So
but I was up for it,
So you go from Kansas City to where? Yeah, you meeting up and going through his songs, Moody Blues songs, learning.
At first, it's just a guitar. There was no interest in me playing any guitar when I got this job. This was a guitar tech job.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Only.
Oh.
So yeah, that's another part of this story for me is the tech.
You were teching.
I'm still the guitar tech. Like that's my role on paper.
Okay.
And it's like, then it was first tour, I come out as a guitar tech. We have rehearsal in Boston. I'm like, meet Justin for the first time. We have like 2 days rehearsal before the first show.
Yeah.
Not that much time.
No.
And I have
baptism by fire, baby.
Dude.
Yeah.
And I was basically told, we know you don't really know how to do this job exactly right, but you're here because we like you.
Right.
And that's how it goes in this world.
Yeah.
It's like, I get what you mean, because you're touring, you're spending a lot of time with people. It's more like, are you willing to learn? Yes. Are you kind of fun to be around? All right, cool. We can make it work.
Yeah. Right.
It's more about willingness to learn and willingness to deal with the hours and all the touring logistics that it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So, and I really, I've worshipped the music of British Invasion since I was a kid. Like Led Zeppelin's always been my favorite band.
Okay.
And so then from that was Pink Floyd was the next one. And then it was The Who. And then it came to the Beatles and Stones were the next ones. So the Moody Blues music's adjacent. It hangs in there with that stuff. So when you start getting to where you've listened to all those records, you start finding out about the other
I want to hear
stuff.
something new. Oh, I want to hear something new, but might be old, but new to me.
Or just you have conversations with folks oh, you actually really like this band, or do you know about this band? You know about, and you hear about the less. So I would say that Moody Blues, if you had to put 10 British Invasion bands up, they would be in that top 10.
Probably, yeah.
They would probably be at 7, 8, 9.
Sure.
Under they're not Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Stones, Queen.
Right.
But then it starts to be they're right next to those.
But they're there, yeah.
Because you have 7 records that were classics that came out boom, 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 boom. I didn't know anything about how much material, or that they were one of those bands that multiple songwriters and people know everybody's in the band's name. And some people like this guy, and some people like this guy. Oh, okay. They were one of those. But I think what they did is they carved a niche as a classical side of things,
right?
Strings and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that I've always worshipped that British Invasion era because of some of the explosion of great music. So to get to work for one of those guys, I took that pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And I got that gig. So I was trying my best to learn how to be a real guitar tech. But it was more about doing what this guy wants. I want my guitars treated like this. I want to tune them like this. I want you to let me do a lot of it. And I don't want you to touch things I don't ask you to do.
Sure. So
it's more of oh, okay, this guy wants to teach me his way. So I came under his wing in that way. And it's more asking. And so I'm just absorbing a lot of information. Well, in that process, he's going to hear me play a little guitar.
Sure. Yeah.
And so then after that first tour, he started kind of warming up to me a little bit, right away once he heard me play a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he realized that I wasn't just a total kiss ass. I was just a dude. I treated him like a guy.
Sure.
So I knew right away. It's this guy wants to be one of the guys in the band. And there's a couple gals, but they're, you always say guys when you're talking about a band for whatever reason.
Just one of the bandmates.
Yeah. And he wants to be the boss, but he definitely wants, when it's time, it to feel like we're all in this together. So
collaboration.
Yeah. So I did my best to try to do the work there first and then learn the skills. And it turned out I knew way more guitar techie things.
Just from the years of doing it.
Just from like being from a small town and not having anybody that fucking does anything for you. Right. You have to learn everything, dude. And like when you do have the person, they're just far enough away to where it's like, well, I'd have to drive and then they would be gone and I have to go get it. And it's like, well, it's just better off I just learn how to do it myself.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So like a lot of the techie things that, there's probably a lot of guys out there that would just kill me as a guitar tech purely. But because I've been a discerning player for years and years, I have a certain feeling in my hands. I know when things are right, kind of instinctively. And that's turned out to be really, really useful.
There's a great line from Stevie Ray Vaughan when he talks about like, when he thinks about where his hands are supposed to be, that's when he gets in trouble. But when he plays from the heart, he's fine.
Well, there's certain measurements that you can get really obsessed with. Yeah. And in the audio world, it can be, am I getting this much 50 hertz? Am I getting this much 1K? There's too much 4K in my mix. It sounds like shit. And someone else is like, I think it sounds pretty kick-ass. It's like, because you didn't look at the fucking meter. As soon as you looked at the meter and saw something was like a little weird, then your brain told you something was wrong. And
you got triggered.
Yeah, man, it is like that,
Yeah.
And so I think that there's so much of that goes on where it's like, what is actually important and what is sort of part of the message board culture on the internet where because someone wants to know how to do something, they Google it.
Right.
And so then everyone's doing that.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that the information you're finding there isn't populated with people that are actually doing the thing for real. There are other people like you who are sitting in a place like this who kind of know what they're doing, but are just kind of educated enough to be dangerous. But they don't actually go out and do it for real. So getting to work for Justin was like, I'm 40, recently turned 40, right when that gig happened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this is like another life. Like I get a mentor who's like a rock legend. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Dude, he gave me this amp. This is a Moody Blues amp he toured with forever.
They give you that guitar.
You
were strumming this earlier. You got it.
Yeah, he bought me. Dude, the story with this, though, is actually, he didn't give this to me. He bought it for me. Meaning he told me to go find the best fucking acoustic I could find and didn't give me a price and just let me go out into the world and find it. And I tried. That's like a dream. It's like a Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder movie or something. This guy's money to go spend on a guitar. Like, which one do you want? I took that pretty seriously.
How do you narrow that down to?
Dude, it drove me crazy. I was ready for that to be over.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I need to think about something else.
Yeah.
And at the beginning of a tour, he's like, it was like in this English tour, and John Lodge had just passed away, who was like the other main Moody Blue and bass player. And he just like suddenly died. No one expected that to happen. And he was in this, and we were in England. And so when he first said, I want to buy an acoustic, Josh, a really sweet one. Has to be acoustic and it has to be really sweet. He's like, and I'm like, oh, he's just a little kind of sentimental, emotional. I'm like, I'm not going to hold it to him. Because he'd already given me another guitar.
Right.
Dude's giving me some stuff.
Right.
Because I've helped clean out his storage unit, And so there's certain things that if you give, you get.
Yeah.
And, which is incredible. But so anyway, he tells me that. And then at the end of that tour, which is like a month later, he says that whole thing again, almost the same words. Like, Josh, I'm serious. I want to buy you an acoustic. Like, I know you're going to find a good one. And so now at this point, he's like, it's an assignment. It's an assignment.
Yeah.
And I had sold a couple of guitars for him, like some like old cool guitars, like on Reverb and stuff.
Yeah.
And I had like a chunk of money in an account saved with his name on it. Like I was like I have this amount of your money. You know?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, cool, great, Josh, thanks, man. And it was just a trust thing. And I didn't spend a dime of it, It's sitting in my account. And then, that's what ended up paying for this. So he was like, which was no small amount. I mean, this is a 1953 Gibson J50. You can look up what those cost.
Wow.
Yeah. And this one is like totally good to go. Like it's like completely been gone. I mean, it's been fixed in its lifetime. But I mean, It sounds like a classic records. You know what song it sounds exactly like? Country song. Hold on. Hold on, something's rattling here. My pickup's rattling. It has that fishing in the dark. If you hear that song,
yeah, there it is. I was like, I know this song.
If you hear that song, it's like exactly. I bet you they use one of these.
Yeah,
these are pretty popular Nashville guitars.
Okay,
but when you tune it down, drop D, man. It's just a beast.
It's just it's so warm. I think that's what Parker called
Old
it.
wood, man.
Yeah,
it's just nothing like it.
Yeah,
So Justin knows a lot about guitars, man. I was like kind of a guitar nerd before I got that job, and
but now you're like,
I had to go in deep with acoustics.
And now you're and
then I get rewarded.
Yeah.
Well, and it's been cool because when you're forced to like hear things on that level, the dude's ears are crazy. It's so hard to make him happy. Justin.
So is that probably? I know it's always so cheap to be like, what's the one thing you've learned from Justin? Because there's so many things. But the importance of the ears.
Yeah, the tuning thing has been huge. Like he's like, you tune it to a tuner and it's not nearly good enough. You got to like really do it like the classical way.
Yeah.
And like get in there and make it so that the chords like really sound like a record. If you go and listen to those Moody Blues records and you hear, he's the only guitar player.
Yeah.
So all the guitar is him.
Right.
It's a lot of beautiful acoustic, alternate tuning folk stuff. And then there's also ripping electric guitar.
Right.
And like all this orchestration. It's like, he's a very underrated guitar hero.
Yeah.
Because he's known for his voice.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times
he's still got the voice too.
His voice, he sings all those songs in the same key.
Wow.
And he just doesn't quite have the volume, but he still hits the notes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how a lot of these guys at that age, they learn how to, with the in-ear monitors, the mic is real sensitive.
Yeah.
And they just get right up on that thing and they learn how to control their air. It's pretty amazing. The guy's ability to work with what he has.
Yeah.
You learn that right there is the most important thing. Because with Justin, I try to take him all as one.
Yeah.
Like this is an older guy who's at the later years of his career that doesn't want to stop because he loves this.
Right.
And he has to constantly be like, oh, fuck, I can't really do that song very good anymore because it's more of his gnarly arthritic fingers that are more a big problem for him.
Than his voice.
Yeah.
Because, like you take
because there's certain songs he's just like there's some songs where he does like, that is kind of out for him. He can, but if it's like real intricate in the finger picking, those fingers just they literally just won't move.
Right.
And like, or if a chord is like really kind of crammed in, like he would have to just like leave one of those fingers out because he can't, they're gnarled up.
Right.
He makes it work, man. The dude pick up a guitar. If he was in here in the room and pick up a guitar and start strumming, you'd be like, God damn.
Not bad. Yeah.
He just has like it in his hands, dude.
Well,
it's crazy.
Think about like, and
it's real deal when you're like, oh fuck, okay.
Yeah, well, like artists that are getting up there, those that have influenced us or we've loved watching over the years. Buddy Guy just turned 90.
Jesus.
And it's just wild to think about like still being out on the road. Still doing it.
I see that now, and what I see when I see that is I see Buddy Guy, LLC, and I think about the team.
Yeah.
And that's not to slam him at all.
Yeah,
I just like now I'm a little bit more aware of like, oh, this is a network of people that support.
Yeah.
Like hold this up as like a entity that is like a business,
Yeah, I mean,
because it is. It's a whole thing.
Show business. Yeah.
And there's a shtick, there's a whole thing, but there's like an illusion element that needs to not be broken. So one thing that I think happens now a lot to people is we know too much about the behind the scenes, and a lot of the magic has been sort of sucked out of the entertainment world for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's cool for the nerd brain, but it's not good for the audience brain as much.
Because it's like your superhero's alter ego now. Bruce Wayne is Batman. Clark Kent is.
But you know him at the same time.
Right, that's what I mean.
Like now you're like,
oh, now
you don't get the reveal.
Yeah,
that's exciting. You know, you just like kind of learn about it like at the same time.
Yeah, because you learn about it. You just see these mythological creatures, and I think part of that's like there was the Osborne TV show where you got behind the scenes on that. And then, there's obviously a lot of the VH1 behind the music stuff. And yeah, some of that nerd brain stuff. I love all that stuff. I love documentaries.
Yeah, me too.
Junkie for that.
But have you ever leached out the enjoyment of an artist by knowing too much about the artist? I think it is possible.
I think the one that always stuck with me is when, Rattle and Hum, U2, they made the black and white documentary of them being on the road making Joshua Tree.
Okay.
And they went to see Graceland.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Larry Mullins Jr., the drummer, loved Elvis, had the haircut, rolled his sleeves, did all that. But then it shows him after the fact being like, I kind of wish I didn't come here. I wish I didn't see him because now it just makes him a little more like human.
Okay.
And it was always this mythological creature.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you really see the sadness in his eyes for deciding to go to Graceland. Okay. Even though that's what he wanted to do. Yeah. And that's what the band all got behind him to do.
There's a sadness to those places, man. Like Branson and certain places. Like there's this like underpinning, like every museum that's kind of like around a person.
Yeah.
There's
like Sun Studios is great.
Yeah,
I love Sun Studios.
I get what you mean.
But Graceland,
that's what I'm saying.
Not so much.
Yeah, there's like this weird commercial cheese that kind of sneaks in and then it just turns it all into this like kind of gross thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, man, it goes back to that, like how many families is this whole thing feeding? It's awesome. You think about like, the entertainment world. It's
LLC,
like, do you know about the word egregore? Do you know that one?
No.
It's like my favorite word.
What is it?
Egregore.
All right.
Egregore is sort of like voodoo. It's like, it exists because you believe in it.
Ah, okay.
So egregore.
Like a self-fulfilling prophecy sort of thing?
Yeah. I think that would, so like an egregore is something that is a concept, but if enough people believe in it, it becomes reality.
Sure.
So it's like, you believe in it's almost like, It's kind of like an egregore.
Okay.
It's like the fear manifests, enough people believe in it to where it actually manifests itself into a physical form,
Okay.
I mean, a lot of things are this.
Yeah.
Insurance is kind of egregore.
Yeah.
But like the music like illusion behind the entertainment industry is so much of that. It's about like if you get enough people believe in something, it actually becomes real.
Right.
An entity is birthed into existence. And that's what egregore is. It's got to be a cool metal band out there called egregore.
If not,
there's got to be.
Your next
it's
project.
Such a death metal sounding word.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Kansas City, egregore!
That's like the fucking folk music.
Yeah, folk music.
Like what? Bunch of dudes.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, dude. A lot of fun, man.
What do you think about helping me string a guitar?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. It's easier than you think.
All right, I'm going for it.
It's easier than you think.
Thank you once again, Mr. Josh Johnson, for joining us today on Kansas City with Jason Nivens. As we talked about pretty extensively, Westport, man, it still is rather a legendary place, but a lot of great memories were there. And that's what I want to focus on today. You see, the port is actually older than Kansas City. It was founded in 1831 by John Calvin McCoy, and the town of Kansas, which became Kansas City, was formed in 1838. And Westport was also basically like the epicenter, the last stop on the westward expansion of the Santa Fe, Oregon, and California trails. It also served as one of the largest battles in the Civil War west of the Mississippi, as you had a lot of free staters that were coming over from Kansas, which is basically just a mile to the west, squabbling and disagreeing with a lot of pro-slavery outfitters like Albert Boone, who was the grandson to Daniel Boone, and John Warnell of Warnell Road. I also want to show you this. Check this out. I got this at an antique place in Ottawa, Kansas last year, an antique mall. It says Boone's Trading Post. That's Kelly's. That's Kelly's right there. That's Kelly's. So believe me, we're going to be doing a deep dive into Westport at some point on Kansas City with Jason Nivens. Thank you, of course, to Parker, for our super producer Parker, for putting this all together. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and let us know who should we chat with next. KCJNmedia at gmail.com, kcjnmedia@gmail.com. Peace.
I got a bed we got.
Thanks for listening to Kansas City with Jason Nivens. We appreciate you, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hey, we'll catch you next time.